Hey, it's Ted here. 47%, all that, living down to expectations. And I have been working up to this video for a couple of weeks. And I'm going to catch shit from anybody that watches this video. Yes, I am. So whatever. Because this time of the year, I go absolutely batty, nuts, whacked. Now, what the hell am I talking about? I'm talking about Halloween. Oh, hell, Ted. Aren't you like one of them A guys? You don't believe in religion? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Well, let me fill you in on that. Halloween is not the innocent fun you think it is, and I don't give a damn if you think I'm crazy. Let me give you the typical view of Halloween. This is an article from Easy in Articles, and it's by a Christian guy called Phil McMillan. Okay? He says, most Americans are Christian. Granted. This country was set up by our founding fathers with a Christian foundation. Disagree. As God-fearing Christians, Jews, and Muslims, we try to keep evil, in whatever form, away from our children. Okay? He says, drug abuse is evil. Sexual perversion is evil. The 7 deadly sins, gluttony and all that stuff, are evil. Devil worship is certainly evil. And then he says, but Halloween, trick or treat? Not really. We've all heard about various pagan rituals that started hundreds, even thousands of years ago. The celebration of Halloween night does, in fact, come from a pagan origin. Halloween was a holiday about a goddess worship. And then he throws a little funny in here. He says, I worship my wife. Does that count? Halloween also became a day when witches celebrated the festival of the dead. It also became the day when Satanists celebrated death. So Halloween became very important to several cults. With all of that in mind, he says, I have some questions. Do young children know this history of Halloween? Do they care? Answer to those questions, he says, is no. Our children see it as a night of make-believe and a chance to go beg for candy. You and I saw this practice the same way when we were young, oh, so many years ago, he says. And I agree. Now, it does become the responsibility of all of us who let our teens and young adults know, that devil worship and the use of Ouija boards, tarot cards, fortune telling, and astrology are all false gods. These are things to stay away from. Many of these items are looked at as entertainment to start with, but some people it becomes serious. He concludes, but collecting candy or going to a costume party, it becomes the duty of parents to separate the paganism from the fun. Oh yeah, that's the duty of parents. Of course, Christianity has adopted a bunch of pagan holidays. Christmas is a pagan holiday that was adopted by Christianity. The tree has nothing to do with Jesus, if you hadn't figured that one out. And Easter. Do you think the Easter Bunny has anything to do with Christianity? No, there's a lot of pagan holidays mixed up with Christianity. But this day, this horrible day, is a day that Christians, most especially, should do nothing on. When I was a Christian, I used to be so appalled at the way Christians acted and thought, just like this guy did, just like maybe you do, Oh, it's just innocent fun. You know, I never have understood the obsession, the human obsession with evil, with black magic and all this stuff. Never have understood that. It's some kind of a knee-jerk reaction against all of the flip side religious oppression, maybe. You know, kind of a fuck you God kind of thing, right? I don't know. I've never understood that. I've never understood the obsession with death and horror and all that stuff. I do not watch horror movies. I do not know why anyone does. So you can take that for what you want. Found another article called The Dark Side of Halloween. And I don't usually recommend websites from Christian publishers because most of the time, you know, they're bouncing off the walls. But as an article about Halloween goes, this one is fairly good all the way down to the conclusion. One by Pastor David Brown, a PhD. He wrote an article called The Dark Side of Halloween. I'll post a link. It's on Logos resource pages. And he makes the point that Halloween emphasizes horror and death and the occult, and he gives a good explanation of the history of the holiday. He even throws in heavy metal music. Uh-oh. You know, I'm kind of a headbanger myself sometimes. And then he comes to the stupid conclusion that has, you know, that has filled modern Christianity in churches these days. Oh, well, yeah, you know, Halloween, you know, that's bad, 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 bad. But our children, you know, our poor little children are being deprived of the chance of getting a bag of candy so their teeth will rot out and their stomach will be upset. And, you know, all the other kids in town are having so much fun running around in costumes, and we just can't let them suffer. And, you know, Halloween, it's an evil pagan holiday, but we got to do something, so let's have a fall festival. Yeah, let's just celebrate something else on that day. Duh, isn't that what Christianity has done? Right? The Christmas and Easter, that's what they've done. The Catholic Church converted pagan holidays to Christian holidays to convert the pagans. Look it up. But that's you know, that's what Christianity has always done. Substitute something. Ran across a bunch of other articles. A Wikipedia on satanic ritual abuse, which kind of blows it all off, you know. So, well, it's, you know, it's psychological and stuff. Ran across another article written by an FBI investigator, you know. It says, you just investigate the crimes. But let me tell you something. If you think that this day is innocent, if you think it's all a bunch of fun, if you think it doesn't fucking matter what happens anywhere else, then you're full of shit. Because I worked for a friend who was a counselor, a Christian counselor, and his clients were satanic ritual abuse victims. And don't you ever let these bullshit articles and mamby-pamby psychological assholes tell you it ain't real, because I know firsthand. I know. It may not be widespread. It may not be part of the mainstream, and it is never covered in the media. Ever. But it exists. And it is the most horrible thing in the world. I ran across a website called True Occult Crimes. It lists occult crimes. This person has gone to the trouble of looking up news articles. And I'll put the link on my notes. Look at it. the things that I learned, of course, I knew before I went to work for him. I mean, we discussed this in times past, and I'd done research, and I've had a seminar by the police, a police seminar once, on satanic ritual abuse and the kind of crimes that they run across. So I knew it was bad, but I didn't have a fucking clue about how bad it was. I cannot tell you what I know. I can't. I cannot tell anyone what I know. If you think I'm nuts, whatever you want to think, I don't give a shit. I can tell you that what I learned when I worked for my friend has been one of the reasons that I no longer have any religion whatsoever. I am so fully aware of how horrible human beings can be that I just can't fucking tell you. But I can tell you this. There has never, ever been a horror movie of any kind that has ever gone to the depths of what actually happens in some satanic celebrations. Never. If you watch horror movies, I don't. Why? I can tell you that is child's play. And I'm not talking about stuff that I've heard. I'm not talking about some internet story. I'm talking about personal experiences from real people who were part of my friend's counseling. I'm talking about first-person accounts that I read that he shared with me. Maybe broke confidentiality, I don't know, but I don't know the names. But the fact is, we discussed these things. And I can't tell you. I've never told anybody, and I don't know if I ever will. Because I don't want to fuck anybody's head up like mine is. Halloween is a marketing mecca. It's like Christmas. It's 2 Christmases every year for, you know, the corporate retail, for American corporate retail conglomerates. There's Halloween and there's Christmas. And they make a fortune on Halloween. Candy companies. They make a fortune on Halloween. Do you think they want you to know what's going on? Of course not. They want you to think it's an innocent holiday and it's fun. And when I was a kid, it was fun for me. It was innocent to me. I went trick-or-treating and I loved having that bag of candy. It probably didn't help my waistline any. And I went to costume parties. I went to church parties. But let me tell you, people die. People die ugly, horrible deaths. And babies die ugly, horrible, horrible deaths. I cannot tell you. I will not tell you. I will never write this shit down. Never. Fuck, I'd probably get in trouble. But I won't tell you. But take it from me, my kids and my house does not and will not ever acknowledge, much less celebrate, this absolutely worst day on this planet. It's real and people die. And that's all I have to say.